When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your A game.
Here we go again.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I am your host, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what I'm talking about today is this is how Black women saw the Black Manosphere Meetup. Now, the majority of you guys, my Crimsonites, my subscribers, may or may not be familiar with this wonderful space on YouTube that we affectionately call the Black Manosphere. Many of you heard of me through friends of friends, through family, through other social media, and you watch my content and then you subscribe to me, which is awesome, right? The content is awesome. Your subscriptions are awesome. Your participation is awesome, right? But I want to share something that I think is really, really important with you about an event that took place concerning the men in the Black Manosphere space. And that something was a Black Manosphere meetup that took place over this past weekend. And I think it's important that I talk about this for a couple of reasons. Number one, because we need to talk more about the positive things that Black men are doing, because so often we can only talk about the negative things that they do, cast a negative light on something that they did wrong, something that they didn't do right, some act or whatever the case may be. But I think it's important for us to focus on the productive things, focus on the good things that Black men actually do in real time. And this was one of those things. The Black Manosphere Meetup was one of those things that I feel was a very positive thing to happen in the Black Manosphere space. So the information I'm going to share with you, of course, I was not in attendance of that. However, the information that I'm about to share with you and the support that I'm about to give, this all comes from the men who organized it and the men who attended. Shout out to Brother Theo Woff and Brother Little Big Nate, who organized it, who funded the entire event, and they came back with glowing remarks about how the event turned out. So instead of being in the peanut gallery like a lot of times we're used to doing, let's go ahead and show some support to the brothers. One of the things that I want to talk about is the effort, right? The effort that was made, because it's important to bring something from an idea into reality and fruition, right? And in order to bring something from an idea to reality and fruition is the leadership that it takes, the system of orders and structures that it takes, the organization, the foresight, the planning, and the strategy that it actually takes to bring something from just an idea and not saying, well, one day, maybe someday we'll be able to do something, and saying, no, let's set a date, let's set a timeline, and let's actually achieve that goal. Let's not just talk about what we want to do or what we're going to do or what we might do. And let's actually put our heads together and say, okay, this is what is going to happen. these are the goals. These are the deadlines. This is what we're going to do. And at the end of this, it needs to be happening. It needs to happen, right? So shout out to the brothers for the effort that was made. I think it was a tremendous one. I know a little bit about bringing something from an idea to reality, which is what I'm going to get into next when we talk about the investment, right? So like I said, brothers, again, shout out to Brother Theo Waff, who invested quite a bit of money to the event. From what I hear from them, it was approximately around $30,000 that he spent on the event itself and all of the accommodations and all of those things, right? And so I think this is super important because when you talk about an investment, you're not talking about a handout. Like, you're not talking about, let me put this money in and I don't expect anything back. Listening to what Brother Theo had to say and how he saw things, he definitely is expecting a return, right? But he's not expecting a monetary return, which is extremely important. It's extremely important, because he put this money into this event to empower, to invest in Black men, to do what, right? To meet, to network, right? This wasn't a handout program. This was something to, first of all, get the brothers in the Manosphere together, bring something from offline, from online, and bring it offline, so that people aren't just avatars in a chat room. People aren't just, figures that you see on screen, but we're not touchable or anything like that. But to actually say, okay, I have been in the presence of and shaken the hands of these men. These are real people. These are real men. I think because a lot of times we can get caught up in it's a fantasy. The people on the internet aren't real, right? That sort of thing. But one of the most important things that I want to point out in this while we're talking about the investment was listening to Brother Theo talk about his experience and what he expected. One of the things that stood out to me is that he was talking about how, first of all, this shouldn't be the first and the last, like a one and done situation. This should be something that he pours in his money, his time, his, investment of energy and all of these sorts of things into Black men, into the Black Manosphere, right? For the men to come together, to network, right? To get together and reciprocate and participate with one another and contribute positively to each other's lives, to better Black men's lives, to empower Black men, right? To be better versions of themselves, to do better financially, to do better in their lives. And this is an extremely important step. And to invest that and not expect money in return. Not one time did I hear that brother say he wanted his money back for having invested in this event. The investment for him, the return on his investment for him, is the sustaining of the event on an annual basis. And that the men who helped him organize, who were with him, who are in charge of organizing it and making sure that it is pulled off, continue to grow this event, right? And to grow this into something that Black men can look forward to and that they can always come to network with one another. So basically this thing grows and grows and grows, right? Until this is a huge event that Black men benefit from all the time, right? And it's important because I know I'm kind of dwelling on investment for a little, and I mentioned before about bringing something from just a thought to fruition in order to help Black men and not looking for a money grab. Because for those of you who well know, this Black Manosphere magazine that you see in the back of me was the brainchild of Father's Time, aka Dr. Spencer Holman, right? And this magazine was designed not only to be a glossary for the terms that we use in this space, but more so to bring awareness to the issues that specifically affect Black men more than any other demographic. See, this is a Black Manosphere magazine. This magazine doesn't have anything to do with women. It doesn't have anything to do with women's issues or any of that. It is only dealing with, aside from the glossary part, it's dealing with at least 10 major issues that Black men face, right? And to deal with those issues and to bring that awareness to the manosphere about those issues for men that Black men face, right? And never at any point was there a GoFundMe or, let's put this money into a GoFundMe or whatever, an Indiegogo or whatever. And once you put this money in, we want $50,000. And once we get that money up, we're going to give you a product that you may or may not need, may or may not want, and it may or may not even help you at all. Or you might not even get it. If we feel like the money didn't get raised in enough time, you will have donated your money, but you never get anything in return. So many times that happens. But I understand the investment that Brother Theo is doing because Dr. Spencer Holman made that same type of investment, something that uplifts or empowers Black men without saying to them, first, you got to gimme, before you get something and you don't even know the quality of it, right? So I think that was a really important point. So the next thing to really talk about is the participation, because participation is not just attendance. There, from what I understand, about 100 brothers attended, right? And then participated in the meetup. So they had speakers, they had people who were talking in their expertise about issues that help Black men, and not just going to talk about what Black women were doing and what the sisterhood was doing and this, that, and the third, right? But to actually go and have a meetup that concerned Black men and concerned the issues that confront Black men and what they could do with those issues. And our participation is not just sitting on the sideline speculating and maybe being negative or maybe murmuring about what might have happened or what could have happened. And like I said, this is why I'm drawing information from the brothers who attended and who helped organize it, and not coming with my own opinion and speculation about what did or didn't happen. First of all, because I was not there, right? And so that was something that as a Black woman, I was actually proud to see the brothers get together, and that kind of leads me into the brothers defining their own space, right? Because they're the ones that got together. Black men got together without the outside influence of women, without the outside influence of other groups of men or any of that type of thing. Black men got together and said, okay, this is what we want to do. How do we go about doing that? And that kind of speaks back to the effort. How do we go about doing that? Because a lot of times Black men have these wonderful ideas, right? And when they're not careful or when they present them, other people like to take credit for what Black men do and for the things that they come up with and for the ideas that they have, right? And so this was one of the things that I thought was really, really awesome to me, that Black men said, okay, we're going to take the spirit of what the Black Manosphere is supposed to be, and we're actually going to bring it into real life. We're going to bring it into reality, right? And we're going to define the space, right? Because I saw a clip that Little Big Nate played of Minister Jap, who actually attended as well. And Minister Jap was saying how that meetup gave him more of a sense of brotherhood as it concerned the men in the Black Manosphere, which a lot of times people complain about Black men not having that brotherhood and not being able to have brotherhood. And it did me a proud as a Black woman and as a supporter of Black men to see them come together and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And in terms of defining the space, it kind of brings me to another important point. This isn't my last one. Another important point about the support by sisters. And I want the women to understand something here about support, because there's a such thing as women supporting without being participants, right? Because from what the brother Theo was saying, it wasn't invitations. It was advertised, and whoever wanted to be part of it needed only to contact himself, or I think Obsidian, or I think Lil Big Nate were the contacts to register to attend the event. Now, I had heard that they were going to do that, but I never would have even bothered at all to attempt to attend that event. And the reason why I would never have even attempted to try to attend that event is because women do not always need to be participating in order to be supportive. Sometimes our supportive is just verbal. Sometimes our supportive is energy. Sometimes our support is monetary. Sometimes we're just cheerleading from the sidelines and saying, you know what, we're here in energy, like we're here in spirit, right? We're supporting this concept. We're supporting what Black men are doing. And I think that that's an important point for women to understand, that just because we're supporting Black men in doing things, we don't need to actually participate, because men behave differently when women are around, right? And it's better that men go into the proverbial war room without women. Even women who support, like myself, I've been here in the Manosphere for all intents and purposes. I'm part of the Manosphere as a content creator and has been so for years, right? But it still would be inappropriate for me to attend such an event, because this event is for men. So this is my way of supporting them without bothering to try to be included or to participate in it in any way. Like, I don't need my hands in it. I mean, if they ask for women, any woman, not just me, to maybe do some administrative work, or, you know, you answer the phones, or you take the names of the people who want to attend, something like that, that's different, that's behind the scenes, that's not involved in the actual convention or meetup, that's different. But our support does not always mean that we need to be out front and center and be seen and heard. We can really support from the background, and many times that's the best support that Black women can offer to movements of Black men, when they're, you know, in this case, when it's productive, when they're doing what Black women, quote unquote, say Black men never do. The next thing that I want to talk about, and I'm almost done, I do realize that we've kind of gone over, so please forgive me, but I felt it was important to get this out. To ignore the naysayers, like no peanut gallery, right? No making fun of, trying to be funny about the Manosphere Meetup or anything like that. I feel like it's inappropriate at this point, because this is the 11th hour, and I feel like it's really, really inappropriate to have something negative to say about this meetup, especially if you were not in attendance, you didn't have a hand in putting it together, nobody asked your opinion, you know, or any of that type of stuff. To naysay, to joke, to laugh, to poke fun, I think is super, super inappropriate, mainly because this is such a dire thing, right? This was really what the Manosphere was supposed to be about. Black men coming together for just this thing. And if we detract from that, then that's really just being on demon time, really. to try to detract from the good that can come from this, or make fun of it, or try to make people feel bad, for attending it, for trying to do something for Black men that assist Black men. And we come here on these live streams, on these videos, and say that's what we for. We for the upliftment, the betterment of Black men. And then when Black men do better, we laugh at it, or we poke fun at it, or we think it's funny, or we have a joke about it. That's inappropriate. Just like, for example, we have A Game. I'm sponsored by A Game. Now, there's a lot of jokes about A Game is a blue pill. It's a D pill. But it's not a D pill. It addresses blood flow for men. It also boosts your immune system. Now, considering what's going on, wouldn't that be a good thing that your immune system actually get boosted? And this is not even a product that women can take. This product is specifically for men, specifically. And then you got people in the space, men in the space, who laugh and joke about it. But for all of you who actually take A Game, my subscribers who actually take A Game, you know this isn't a little blue pill. You know from experience, this really does increase your vitality. It really does increase your strength. It really does increase your mental focus and your energy. It really does, right? The commercial that I just played is a brother who is going to be competing for Mr. Olympia if they let that competition happen in 2022. He's exercising, and it's sponsored by A Game, taking A Game. You understand what I'm saying? So inappropriate to talk about it or laugh about it. And finally, I think that one of the things that was really wonderful about the meetup was the unity. If we're really about helping Black men, then it should transcend cliques, because we know Black people real cliquish. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Black Manosphere, right, it's really cliquish. I was a part of a clique, okay? And helping Black men has to transcend the clique, because a lot of times you think you're part of something and you're doing more harm than you're doing good. The cliques actually cut off a lot of opportunities for people to really come together and do something positive, right? Because when myself and Father's Time first introduced the concept of the magazine and things of that nature, it wasn't received very well. And one of the main reasons it wasn't received very well was the perception of the clique, because Father's Time has never been in any clique at all, right? But I was, right? I was. And because of those associations, other people in the Manosphere thought, okay, well, this must have to do with that clique. And since I don't rock with that clique, I'm not going to rock with this magazine. I'm not going to rock with what Brother Father's Time is talking about, or any of that. And many times perception is reality. Perception is reality, right? So I was perceived as part of a clique, which I had been, getting around it. But the perception came in that Father's Time himself was a part of that because he was connected to me. And so therefore, the very wonderful idea of the magazine and all of, all praise due to a lot of magazine did well anyway, right? But that's kind of besides the point. In this particular instance, what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how the clique, or the perception of the clique, or all of that, the disunity actually does not give rise to moving the Manosphere forward, to moving the conversation forward, to actually getting the production out of it that's really supposed to be getting out of it, right? So when we helping Black men, whether you're a woman in the background supporting, or whether you're a man in the foreground organizing things and getting things together and being hands-on, with these sorts of things, it's gotta transcend cliques and not getting along and who don't like who and all of these kinds of things, right? Super important. So I know that this is longer than my usual. I apologize for that, but this needed to be said. Just once again to give a big, huge shout out to those brothers, Lil Big Nate, Theo Waff, and all of the brothers who helped to organize the Black Manosphere Meetup. Just wanted you guys to know that you have support from the sisters. For that, we're happy to see that Black men are coming together on some positivity. And so also just to say this much as well before I end it off, I would love to do a live stream about it. So if Little Big Nate is listening or Brother Theo Waff is listening, I'm actually going to put my email in the chat room. So if you guys would not mind contacting me, I would love to have a live stream where we can talk about the meetup or the plans for maybe the future ones. Not that I need to be involved with the plans, but I'm hoping that you get what I mean, because I just think that it's a good place for the women to start and just support it, just support it from the background. Just cheer the brothers on. Okay. All right. So sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I am your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.